trying to solve a problem that simply shouldn't exist. So instead of...
Hi, my name's Madeline Wilks. I am a professional bassoonist and collegiate professor. And I've spent years performing countless rehearsals, recitals, and doing everything that we're told to do to be a good musician. And over the course of all my experiences, the biggest thing I've learned is this. The biggest barrier isn't actually talent, it's the gear. Traditional instrument supports often neglect those who have diverse body types. So this includes women, non-binary individuals, plus size, disabled. And the industry kind of uses this male-centric, one-size-fits-all design. And for an industry that's built on creativity and inclusion, it's surprisingly exclusatory. And that gap is exactly what my project is attempting to alleviate. So I actually went on a large weight loss journey over the last few years. I lost 120 pounds. And prior to that, I actually could not stand and play. And it wasn't for a lack of desire, and it often actually excluded me from different performance opportunities, some of which were paid or competitions, simply because the gear didn't exist so that I could stand and play. And I've spoken to so many, not only female bassoonists, but also like plus size musicians in general. And it's a common reoccurring issue that we're excluded from performances, from competitions, and it's really unfortunate because in the modern era, standing performance is more prevalent than ever, and many ensembles actually require it, but the gear just is not really acceptable. At this stage, Tutti is focused on validation and readiness for scale. So the funds from this financial competition will actually enable 3 really critical steps to completing the project. First, it's going to allow me to create a fully functional and ergonomic prototype designed specifically for musicians who have historically been excluded from traditional instrument support systems. Second, this is going to fund user testing with women and musicians of diverse body types. These trials are going to document not only like the physical outcomes, such as like reduced strain and improved endurance, but also things like confidence and performance ability while using the strap. And by collecting real data from historically underserved musicians, Tutti is going to center their experiences as the standard and not the exception. And then the third thing that it's going to help me accomplish is documented specifications for the manufacturing process so that this is not a one-off solution, but a sustainable and accessible product. Running Start is a competition that pushed me outside of my comfort zone. I've been focused the last few years on the performance and the pedagogical side of the music career. But it's really important to dabble in a variety of different disciplines as a musician in order to have a sustainable career in this field. And Running Start was a way for me to break into the music business side of things in a comfortable and safe environment, while also learning a lot of things about how businesses work and writing a business plan and kind of taking a concept or an idea and making it like a validated and legitimate product. And so it's definitely been a lot of a learning experience for me so far, but definitely one that I would do again. In regards to the Running Start competition, I think that it's really important to take whatever idea you have and try to turn it into something special. If you see a need or you see something that's not being accomplished or something that's not inclusive in the music career or music side of things, do something about it and go for the competition. There is no downside to learning something like this, and there's no downside to taking an idea and making it a reality. So we are very fortunate here at MSU to have such a large array of different resources that are all completely free and a part of the student experience here. As soon as I went to Emily Henley at Running Start and said, this is an idea that I would like to take to the competition, almost a year ago, the first thing she said was, let's sit down, let's make a meeting and talk about it. And she recommended that I sign up with the Burgess Institute, and so I immediately did and went to the initiation meetings. And they talked a lot about starting a business. They helped me write my business plan, which as of now is about 75 pages and has gone through about 4 different editing processes and it's still not complete. But it opened up a whole pathway to all kinds of different resources that are really the only reason I was able to take my idea and make it into a viable product. So the Burgess Institute was a really great resource for the making of this project. Again, as I mentioned, this was really far outside of my comfort zone. I have never broken into anything music business related, and they took me where I was and introduced me to what a business plan is, the financial side of a business, something I had never really considered, just how much money and resources go into starting a business. And they also helped me legally with the patenting and trademark of my idea, which is something that's still in the works. But it's going to be very helpful as well because I'm speaking at the International Double Reed Society Conference this summer, and it's really a joy to know that my idea is protected and that I have the legal and also financial resources backing this idea, going and taking it to an international competition or to the next steps of this like business creation. The Burgess Institute opened up a pathway to an entire network of resources that are specific to business. And as I mentioned, I did not know anything about it going into this. And so having that resource with industry professionals, competitions, and resources was really helpful for the creation of my project. I never would have been able to write a business plan. I never would have been able to patent my idea, any of the legal trademarking, and just discovering that I can become a patent engineer, which is where I've decided to take my project and sell the patent to a larger company instead of fully creating a company from scratch. These are all things that I didn't know going into this. And another nice thing about Burgess is it's completely open to everyone. So it doesn't matter how old you are. I was sitting in a room with, undergraduate students trying to start an AI company. And then on the right of me, there was someone trying to start a dessert business. And then across the table, there was a postdoctoral person trying to start an AI company. So it was really interesting to see how the idea of business could bring together so many different people with so many different backgrounds.